Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Carmen, your Divine Synergist of Heart's Joy. Thank you for joining this week's discussion. So, before we get started, I'd like to just share a quick energy overview with everyone. And this is being recorded on December 3rd. So, we just had a full moon eclipse on Monday. And it's not only the full moon, which was inviting us to let go of everything that happened in 2020 that didn't serve us, as far as um, maybe you had a lot of doors closed in 2020, to look at those blessings and just to let it go, release any anger, resentment, anything, old habits, old thought patterns that no longer served you. That's the energy that we experienced on Monday. And I invite you to still do that if you haven't done so yet. And the other thing with the eclipse is it opens up the portal, or an energy doorway, if you will, from the what was that, the 30th through December 14th is going to be this, what I call go time. It's eclipse season, meaning anything that wasn't working is going to be eclipsed out of your life. It's going to be taken care of by the universe. And this is also a time for you to start any projects, do anything, wrap up any projects, especially maybe you started something at the beginning of the year, throughout the year, wrap it up, get her done. And eclipses also shift timelines for us. They will compress timelines. They will also shift and make things quicker, speed things up for us as well. There's that saying that you're always where you should be. And it's because the universe will shift you and things will start to speed up in your life. And you're kind of like, what is going on? That's why you're being shifted to where you're needed and wanted at that time. So the December 14th is going to be the closing of that energy portal. And that is going to be a high time of manifestation. So really focus on that new moon eclipse, really focus on what it is that you want to create in 2021. And if you're so inclined to join in the vision workshops, we've got 2 left. We're going to focus on that specifically. How do you want to show up and feel in 2021? And what intention or goal would you like to focus on as well? Okay. And I'll go ahead and make sure that you guys have those links at the end of this broadcast. So let's go ahead and get started. I really want to talk about tonight. First off, I love the movie Wizard of Oz. I don't know if we have any Wizard of Oz fans out there. And I will refer to it from time to time, different parts of the movie, because it's so interesting how we literally play out this movie in our life, and especially right now. And so, the question is, could it be that we're actually living in the movie Wizard of Oz? And to that, I say, absolutely yes. So let's talk about this. Think back to the movie. If you remember how, Dorothy ends up in Oz, she's really distorted, not quite sure how to get back home, what to do. It feels chaotic at times. And of course, she meets different people along the way to help her. They each serve a different purpose along her journey while she's there. And when she finally made it to Oz, because everybody kept saying, you need to see the wizard to go home. So think of in right now what's happening in society. Think about who would be the wizard for you. Okay. Or who would be the wizard in your life? How can you correlate that with your personal life? And do you remember when there's a lot of fear that the wizard is instilling in Dorothy and the gang as they're entering into Oz? And I'm more so talking about that. I can see it real vividly where, there's this scary face and there's a lot of chaos and the loud voice and the real deep voice and very commanding, very scary. And then she finally gets there and little Toto pulls the curtain back. And I love the fact that it's Toto, very innocent, very loving, and just pulls the curtain back. And all of a sudden, you're really seeing who's pulling all the levers and who's doing this and that behind the curtain. And that is what's happening right now. And I also want to talk about at the end of the movie, Dorothy, in order for her to get back home, she got to click her heels 3 times and say, "There's no place like home, no place like home." So Dorothy had it in her the entire time to go home whenever she wanted. She always had her power to do that. She chose to stay and learn lessons along the way. And if you've watched the movie, you know what all these little lessons were. And I want you to start to think about that. Let's just focus in on this year for 2020, because this has been a really pivotal year for everybody. It's the beginning of spiritual awakenings for a lot of people. And what I'd like to share with you is that we are Dorothy. We have the power within us to do absolutely anything that we not only choose, that we set our mind to. And what I'm experiencing is that a lot of people are giving our power away. And my question is, why? Why have we chosen to do that? And I encourage you to answer this question, one of not victim or shame or guilt. Just ask it with curiosity. Wonder why. Am I doing it? And why am I doing it? The next question is how. What I've experienced is that we've been fed fear and lies and chaos for many, many, many years. This is the media, this is the government, all want us to believe these certain paradigms in order to keep us in check. And that is the part of us keeping us in fear and telling us these certain stories, also known as paradigms, years and years and years. And a lot of us have woken up to this and we're saying no more. One example of the paradigms that I want to just point out, because you don't hear a lot about it today, and I feel like some of you could probably relate, is we only hear a certain narrative in the media right now. We're not hearing a lot of narrative about building our immune systems to stay healthy. We're hearing the opposite of that, which is one of fear-based. I'd also encourage you to look at, who are you following on social media? Are you listening to the podcasts and YouTubes and, videos of people who are instilling the fear, or who are simply saying, here's the information, in a very non-biased way? We keep hearing a lot about, death. We can't be with each other right now, vaccines. And then there's going to be other things that come once we continue to agree to these things. It's going to continue. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't real. I'm just simply saying, notice the narrative. That's all. So if you feel triggered by any of this conversation, I invite you to ask yourself, where's that trigger? Because that's something that gets to shift within you. A lot of people are getting triggered by this topic right now. Now, as some of you may know, fear just feeds the ego. And it's going to magnify trauma. It's going to magnify anything that we've experienced like that in our lives. And what I've learned too is everybody has experienced some sort of trauma on some level throughout our life, myself included. Every single person has. And what's happening is all of this is coming up to the surface for us to release, for us to heal. And a lot of people are projecting onto other people without realizing that they're just simply projecting their unhealed trauma. And you've probably heard me say over and over again, this is the year of personal responsibility. This is the year of accountability. This is one of the things to take accountability for. To heal any limiting beliefs that you have, heal any trauma that you experienced. And isn't it a beautiful thing that that's one of the many gifts that 2020 has given us? It's given us the opportunity to bring things to surface that we may not have noticed otherwise in order for them to heal. And when we are in trauma, or when things feel really chaotic, we feel stuck. We either feel stuck like we can't go anywhere, or we feel stuck like we're on a hamster wheel, which, by the way, we can choose to hop off the hamster wheel at any given time. When we start to heal, or especially the limiting beliefs, because the limiting beliefs are just simply old tapes that were given to us. It could have been, something that happened when you were a child, something you experienced as a child. It could be a generational thing. They come from all different places. And when we finally heal them, then we truly can live a life of love, of freedom, and abundance. And so tonight's discussion, I'm inviting you to stand up for yourself, speak your truth, and remember who you are. Remember that you are light. Remember that you are a spiritual being. You chose this body, this life, this family, this time to learn lessons and to help other people. You were given gifts for a reason. You are here for a reason. Start to live intentionally. If you aren't already, some of you already are. It's so beautiful to experience other people's gifts. So I invite you to walk this journey along with me, because I'm going through this with you guys too. And we can heal this trauma together. I have learned a new modality called theta healing. And theta healing is it's a modality to help heal any old limiting beliefs that are just simply running in your subconscious mind. Most of the subconscious limiting beliefs that we have, we don't even know are there. And they're just running like little tapes every single morning you wake up. You've heard a lot of different people talk about this. And when I experienced theta healing myself and was able to heal some of mine, I was absolutely blown away. I was blown away by how easy the process was, what came up during the process, and just how I've been doing this my whole life. Wow. Now I get to choose to do it differently. I get to choose to experience the lightness and the freedom and the fun and the joy, because that's what life is all about. So for a limited time, I'm offering these sessions at a pay what you can. And these are virtual, so it doesn't matter where you are. We can do this via phone, via Zoom, virtually. Again, that's the beauty of it. And I'm going to make sure that you guys have that link for theta healing as well. If you have any other questions about what that is, feel free to reach out. Sending you much love along your journey, along your healing journey. And I look forward to sharing space with you soon.